Hi, my name is Kyle Westerman, and this is my ePortfolio. I'm going to start this presentation off with my goals. My personal goals, my wife and I are going to continue to raise our family, our two boys that we have, and stay in this area for now. My wife is a teacher as well. She's a teacher of the deaf and hard of hearing for Cali County, and I teach weights and history for Oxford Junior High and High School. We both really enjoy our jobs in the area that we're in. We've made a lot of great friends down here, and we don't see ourselves leaving anytime soon. Professional goals, possibly in the next 5 to 10 years, look into getting an administrative job, possibly after that start my district level certificate. The administrative job that I would be looking for would be more of an assistant principal, athletic director role. As I still enjoy working with the kids, the business side and the bureaucratic side of administration is not exactly my favorite part. And so staying in an administrative role where I still get to work with students would be my goal for now. Moving on to my leadership philosophy. I'm going to summarize this for you. My leadership philosophy is as such. I believe that good schools are created by great leadership. And if you don't have great leadership in the administrative role, then you're going to have teachers that are subpar. And with subpar teachers, you're going to have subpar students. And so great schools start at the administrative level. And you need to care for those students, care for those teachers, build relationships. Let those teachers and students know that you care for them and you worry about them and you want the best for them. And if you set that up, then you're going to have, good teachers, and that relates to good students, and overall you'll build a great school. Moving on to my plan of study. Have you noticed, if you flip through this, that I started my administrative degree in August of 2018, and I am hopeful to graduate this May of 2021, so it's taken me about 3 years to get this completed. Moving on to my resume, you'll notice that I have a bachelor's degree from Fort Hays State. I also have a bachelor's degree from Emporia State, and I will be finishing my third degree from Fort Hays State in my Master's of Science in Education Administration. I am currently at Oxford Junior High and High School, teaching junior high history, PE, and then doing the strength conditioning for the high school. Prior to working at Oxford, I taught at Winfield, Kansas for 5 years, teaching just history there. Moving on to my activity form, you'll notice that I've spent several hours between the district, the elementary, and the secondary level as well. Here is a look at my activity tracker and making sure that I covered all of the standards as much as I could for each level. My administrative verification. Here's one from the elementary school principal that I spent down there at the elementary. Luckily, here at Oxford, we're a very small school, and so the elementary is just a very short walk away from the junior high and the high school, and so I was able to meet those requirements fairly easily. Also here at Oxford, being as we're very small, we have one administrator that is both the junior high and high school principal and the superintendent, and is Dr. Kathy Wilson. So she is signed off on both my district and my secondary level verification as well. Spent a lot of time with her through a lot of these internships that I had to go through. And here's my annotated bibliography. This was the longest part, I believe, of this ePortfolio, finding 33 different annotated bibliographies. Obviously, they're beneficial in being able to read an article or a book and being able to summarize that and see whether or not it's going to benefit you as an administrator. Moving on to my district activities. Okay. I have 5 district activities that I used. A lot of what I did was part of the DLT, the district leadership team. We met every first Wednesday of the month for an hour to discuss what is going on in the district. We have a bond project that is going on right now. We're building a new FEMA shelter for both the elementary and the high school. And so a lot of those DLTs went into the different building projects, our KISA for recertification, or reaccreditation, I should say, for the school as well. But anything going on with the district, we talked about. That's part of the district leadership team too. Here I was also part of the calendar team for the district, trying to create a calendar that was beneficial for all students and staff, and our supplementary staff as well, making sure that we hit all of the days that we are required to meet for the state, but also for our our negotiated agreement as well. I was also part of the accreditation team that talked about KISA. We met multiple times throughout the last year, and then we finished up our meetings with the OVT team. There were teachers from different districts that came in and looked at what we were doing to help create a better school here at Oxford. And then I went to school board meetings as well as part of my 5th activity that I worked with for the district. With those school board meetings, most of the time I just kind of sat by and observed, but I met with the different school board members, talked to them, created a relationship there, asking them how the community felt about our school. I also presented once at a school board meeting about adding a new club to the school as well, and so I was a part of that school board meeting. And then lastly, I was a part of the negotiations team. We've been meeting throughout this year to meet the hours for that negotiation team. And we just, took a poll from all the teachers to see if there was anything that we needed to add. Do we need more time for professional development? Do we need more days off? Do we need more pay? It was actually a pretty easy process. I know that there have been times where the negotiation team is not an easy process, and for the most part here, the staff is very happy with everything that's going on. We had no complaints or complications when it came to us submitting our negotiations to the school board. Moving on to my elementary activities. These activities were a little harder to do. I did do 7 activities because secondary is my main focus, just because I had to take time off during the day sometimes to do some of these activities, so I had to find subs to fill in for my classes. I also coach 2 seasons out of the year, and so finding time after coaching to attend some of these activities, it was just time consuming, but that's kind of the job of an administrator, is a time consuming job. I was a part of the school improvement committee at the elementary school. They meet and they just talk about what needs to be fixed, what can they do to make the school a better place, what kind of different testings do they do with the students to help create a better culture down there. I was a part of some teacher evaluations and professional conduct as well. I walked through several different classrooms from pre-K all the way up through the 6th grade, which is a part of our elementary school, and just sat in on some teachers as they were teaching and just evaluated their process. Filled out some charts of what I saw and what I witnessed while I was in there. I sat with the special education department as well, and we talked about the inclusiveness in the classroom. We have a really special student here at Oxford. He has a brittle bone disease, and he's been homeschooled a lot of his life. He's only 6 years old, and he's in kindergarten, but they're trying to help him interact with other kids his age as much as possible. He's only here part-time during the day. He's not here all day long, and it's honestly a very scary situation because he is so fragile that he can't do a lot of things that the other kids do in kindergarten, but they take time to include him in the classroom. They take time to allow him to play in small groups with other students so he gets that interaction. And it was just amazing to see these other kindergartners understand how fragile they needed to be with this boy, and they just did a great job. And I think our administration down there in the elementary school, the special education teacher in the elementary school, just did a fantastic job of showing the benefits of including some of these special education students into the regular ed classrooms, and what kind of impact it can make not only for the student that is in the special education classroom, but the students that are in the regular ed classroom as well. Again, I spent some more time with the special education department to research and evaluate the quality of formative and summative assessments. I chose this activity because I wanted to see the differences of formative and summative assessments for the special education students and the regular education students, and what they did different. Not being a part of the special education department myself, I don't know as much about it as one that would be in the special education department, and so I wanted to see what kind of adaptations that they used, especially when it comes to state testing. And to link with the community, I was a part of the site council. I was also a part of KISA, which looked into our elementary and the goals that they are trying to reach. And then for our building professional capacity, I sat in on some interviews in the elementary department. Since secondary was my focus, I hit 10 different activities for the secondary. It was a little easier since I am also a part of the junior high and high school here at Oxford. Again, KISA not only focused on the elementary level, but it also focused on the secondary level as well. And so I used that as one of my activities from our mission, vision, and improvement. I was a part of the master schedule, so picking what classes went where with what teachers. It's kind of a hard process because we don't have a huge staff here. We have a smaller student body, so we try to implement as many different classes as possible with the amount of staff that we have, and then layering those classes so that students don't have a whole bunch of choices but only 1 hour to take a class. And so that was a difficult job, and we're still trying to figure that out as I'm a part of that. I was also part of the junior high handbook in creating a kind of behavioral guide for the junior high. We have kind of a difficult junior high these past 2 or 3 years. We have another tough group coming up. They're very large classes. They're extremely boy heavy. Right now in the junior high, we have about 60 kids in 7th and 8th grade, and we have about 15 girls out of those 60 kids. So it is very boy heavy, and anybody that's spending a lot of time around junior high boys, they can be rambunctious at times. I was also part of the MTSS structuring that we're going to implement next year for the junior high and high school to try to help move some of those kids that are performing at a lower level, move them up the ladder a little bit. For our seniors, I was a part of the senior portfolio creation team. I helped create that. The DESA community activities to link our students to the community. I was also a part of creating summer school programs for our students. And then I was a part of our lunch supervision during school. And then we created a ZAP program to try to recognize our good students, as well as letting the students that don't behave the way they're supposed to know that they need to do a better job. And then I was a part of some teacher interviews in the high school as well. Lastly, my reflection. In reflecting on this, I enjoy being with kids and the students. I don't enjoy the bureaucratic, the business side of being in administration as well, and I think that'll keep me in the classroom longer. Thank you. Have a great day.